My name is Mary Holden, and I was diagnosed with stage 4 breast cancer in 2016. Because my cancer was completely unexpected, it was discovered through a sudden back pain. I'm not sure whether I was completely in shock or not at the diagnosis. I do know that my first reaction was, well, what do we do next? My cancer was far too advanced for chemotherapy and surgery, so hormone treatment and radiation treatment were advised. I started on hormone injections as well as bone injections pretty much straight away, as my cancer had spread from both my breasts to my lymph nodes, lungs and bones. Yet, to look at me, you simply would not have known. I was referred to a lovely radiation oncologist whose first words to me were, "We'll look after you." He explained that I would need a number of treatments, and each treatment or dose is called a fraction, over a period of 6 weeks. Because my tumours were small, but many, the radiation was confined to the biggest tumour, which was well hidden in my left breast. The other tumours would be treated with the hormone therapy. After seeing the radiation oncologist, I was given an appointment to have my planning scan. I had absolutely no idea in advance as to what this involved. But my local daffodil centre had a book on radiotherapy, and I'd suggest you get it if radiation is on the horizon for you. This is what it looks like. The planning scan is where the radiation therapists use a scanner to pinpoint the area where the radiation dose is to be delivered. Because I was having radiation to my breast, I had to get up on the scanning table and lie down with my hands behind my back. Now, this is easy if you're young, but not so easy if you're getting on in years and you're not used to climbing up on tables. And the table is hard, so it's not very comfortable. And if you're short-legged, like me, then you need the help of a step and a guiding hand. I wasn't afraid to ask for this help, and nor should you. Once on the table, the key to all of this is keeping still and doing what the radiation therapists tell you to do. Yes, that's radiation therapists, plural. There's usually more than one therapist, as this is not an easy task for them, and there's an awful lot of cross-checking. They will move your body this way and that way in order to get the position just right. And this can take some time, so don't worry. They may use some devices to keep you in position. They may also use a marking pen to put a permanent tattoo, or in my case it was 3 tattoos, on your body so that you're in the same position for each treatment. I think the planning scan is the hardest part of this for both patient and therapists. The radiation therapists must get it right. Second best simply won't do. Radiation kills the cancer cells, but can also harm the normal cells. So it's really important that as few normal cells as possible are affected by the radiation. Luckily, the radiation therapists are doing planning scans every day, so they are well used to the time it takes to get everything 100% correct. In my case, I had a high dose of radiation once a week for 6 weeks. But many people need to have radiation every day, Monday to Friday, for weeks. The biggest challenge for me was actually getting to the radiation centre. As the crow flies, it wasn't far away, but not easy to get to unless you drive. And if you have a car, driving is possible when you are receiving radiation therapy. Radiotherapy tends to take place during working hours, so not everyone can easily find or even afford a taxi or has someone who can drive them there if they are without a car. So do ask your treatment centre if they can provide you with transport, as some can, especially if you live on your own and you're not able to drive yourself there. The appointment times are only guesstimates. Radiation therapists can't be held to them, as machines may break down or something happens that throws the appointment schedule out. So, if you've been given a 2:30 p.m. appointment, don't hold them to that. I always brought a good book with me to read, no matter what time my appointment was for. Some people need to have a +1 with them, and that's okay. It just wasn't what I wanted for each appointment, as I would have felt the need to keep the conversation going. And that in itself can be draining what energy you have before your treatment. I preferred to go alone to treatment appointments and just immerse myself in my book, which was usually a good murder thriller. I think side effects can be broken down into short-term and long-term. Because radiation is targeted on a particular area, that area can be sensitive and sore after treatment finishes. In my case, it was like having severe sunburn on my breast, which is short-term. Recommended ointments included E45. The length of time it takes to heal depends on the strength of the dose you have received, but keeping the area clean and treated with whatever has been suggested, such as E45, is important. In time, the sunburn heals. For me, the main long-term side effect was, and still is, fatigue. It didn't hit me during treatment, but did hit me some weeks after my treatment ended. Radiation fatigue is hard to describe, but there were some days when I was too tired to even get out of bed to make a cup of tea. Fatigue comes and goes. For me, it doesn't last longer than 2 days at most. So I schedule a duvet weekend with a box set or a good book every so often, just to recharge my batteries. Fatigue is manageable. You just have to be organised. If you have a family, offload some extra jobs onto them, including the children. Always accept an offer of help. Give up ironing clothes because life is too short. Batch cook on your energetic weekends if you have freezer capacity, so that you always have something nice that just needs to be defrosted when you're far too tired to cook. One side effect that perhaps is not talked about is body image. Radiation can change your body, especially if you have breast radiation. My radiated breast is completely different to my other breast. My radiated breast feels like cement, so I'll never require an uplift. And it has lots of broken veins that are very, very visible. Am I bothered? Well, now and again, yes. But I'm of an age where it's not that critical. But for a younger woman, I would say, talk to your radiation team before the treatment begins, so that you're prepared for the end result. And do contact Look Good, Feel Better at lookgoodfeelbetter.ie. This is a fabulous online makeup lesson and provides free cosmetics, and it will certainly cheer you up either during or after treatment. I did it after treatment, and it really gave me a boost that I needed. For me, recovery meant getting back to work, which I did 5 months after diagnosis. My GP was very surprised that I didn't want to take the full time off I was able to have, but it was important to me to feel normal again. I was bored at home and bored of being sick. After all, looking at me, hardly anyone would know that I had both cancer and cancer treatment. Getting back to work is not for everyone. It depends on your emotional state. By nature, I'm a pragmatic and solutions-focused person, so staying at home was not for me, and early retirement simply did not appeal. Also, I've been blessed with a good employer and great colleagues, so it was fabulous to get back to work again. Radiation treatment does take its toll, so ease back in gently. It took me a good 2 months before I was able to do full days and then a full week of work. It's hard to believe that it was November 2016 when I was first diagnosed. Until recently, I thought I'd never see a radiation table again. But life is full of surprises. And a recent blip saw one of my tumours decide to do a solo run and grow, whilst the rest of the tumours are still responding to the hormone treatment. We saw that solo run tumour off with another blast of radiation. This time, 5 treatments over a period of 10 days. Nothing has changed really, except that it took me a lot longer to get up on the scanning table, but that's age for you. Exercise is so important for those of us with cancer who are older. I try and do 10,000 steps a day, and I don't always succeed, but it does help both my mind and body. I'm not one for joining cancer groups, but if it's for you, then go for it. Am I anxious about recurrence? Well, of course I am. But every day brings new treatments and new medicines, so I'm very optimistic. Radiation has helped me hugely, and I hope will continue to help me into the future. And I'm so grateful to the radiation therapists everywhere. Well, that's my story. If you're watching this and you have a different type of cancer and radiation therapy experience, do tell your story, because it could help the many others about to begin their radiation treatment.